An easy way to use up your scrap, reed, and seagrass materials from your basket weaving projects is to create wall hanging decor from those pieces. In this video, I'm going to show you how to take that collection of scraps and incorporate them into an easy and fun wall hanging, the results of which can be whatever you want. In this video, I'm going to go over how I created this tapestry, but feel free to explore designs of your own and use the materials that you have. I used all natural colors because that's what I had, but of course, if you have dyed reed, you can do that as well. Now, there is a handout that goes along with this video. You can find that in the link in the description below. So check below under the more, and you'll use your email to download that. It'll get sent to your email. If you're part of our VIP library, you can find that in the VIP library on the Textile Indie website. Other than scraps of seagrass and reed, you will want a stick on which to mount your tapestry. I wove my tapestry around this as I began, so you'll want that at the beginning, and then a piece of twine to attach to hang your tapestry from. If you have larger round reed that you want to use as your top piece, you can use that instead of a stick or some other piece. This is something I found in my backyard. You can use something that you want to display or a piece that just looks nice that will hold your tapestry together. Now, a few basics about this project are: one, this is very loose and not very structured weaving. So I'm not going to give you a step-by-step. I'm going to give you an overview of the project. The results are going to be up to you, how you want to weave it, how many materials you have, and kind of the design that you're going for. Also, the size can be up to you as well. If you want to do a large piece or a smaller piece, it's kind of dependent on what type of materials you have. With mine, I had a lot of the 1/2 inch wide flat, 1/4 inch wide flat oval, and some round reed, as well as larger gauge seagrass. This is number 2 seagrass. So I wanted to do something that was about mid-size. So this goes about 12 inches wide as it's at its widest point. You can kind of gauge depending on if you have larger gauge material that you're using or reeds that you're using. So the larger or wider the reed, the bigger your piece should be in order to kind of scale and have a nice ratio. To start out, you're going to take your longer pieces of scrap and take your stick, fold the pieces of scrap around the top of the stick so that they match up at the top, and then you'll fold the ends around. This will be your warp. So I took a bunch of pieces of scrap and I just looped them around the top and used my spoke weight to hold the pieces in place. Things moved around on me. I should have probably washed the stick off at the beginning, but I didn't, so my reed did get a little bit dirty up at the top. So just a note, if you want to keep things nice and tidy, you could give your topper a little bit of a scrub before incorporating it into your work so that it doesn't get things dirty. Once I had looped over as many pieces as I wanted, and I did some round reed, some 1/4 inch wide flat oval, and some seagrass, then I began weaving, and I just worked in a plain weave, kind of back and forth, not really intending to finish off the edges, kind of going for a very loose, wild tapestry look. So ended the row, just leaving the tails off to the end. If you wanted to, you could loop these back and tuck and fold these ends so that they're nice and finished on the sides if you want that look, or just kind of end them at the end, tapering the cut, or leaving the tails till the very end, which is what I ended up doing. I needed to add a little bit extra tightness at the top, so I threw in a 1/4 inch wide flat oval piece up at the top to kind of tighten that up, and then I started weaving from there, playing with different sizes of reed and different scraps that I had. Some pieces I had shorter scraps, so I just did a single row and kept my ends raw. Some pieces I had longer, and so I did some wraps. And then I wanted to play around with some curves and kind of play with a mountain motif. So I created a shape like that with some round reed. You can do this nice and easily with twining. So if you know a twining stitch or a figure-8 stitch, you can do that with some round reed to incorporate that shaping, and then go in with seagrass to kind of play with that in there. I used multiple pieces of seagrass layered in to use up scraps and weave them together. I just left the tails on top of the warp on the outside or on the back side of the tapestry to keep them from falling through, and then just continued weaving. So a little bit haphazard, but I was able to use up material and get the look that I wanted. I used some twining to pack those rows in and hold the shape in place, and then incorporated more seagrass, a little bit more twining. And then to continue that shape, that curved shape in my tapestry, but use a flat reed, I did short pieces, and I wove short pieces up against my twining, going from shorter to wider on either side of my mountain piece, and then filling in from there, kind of doing this intuitively. So depending on the shape that you're working on, you'll figure out ways to weave in and fill up the space as your ingenuity allows, and play around with different weaving textures. Then I incorporated a few larger reeds. One of the reasons there are spaces between those larger reeds is that the space between my warp wasn't wide enough to get the weft woven tight together. It also added a design element, so I chose to keep it a little bit spaced for design purposes to kind of mimic the top of my tapestry, but also just functionally I wasn't able to pack those rows tightly together because of spacing. And if your warp is smaller than your weft, or the one that you're weaving is bigger than what you have to weave over, you're not going to be able to pack quite as tightly because the density of the larger reed overwhelms your warp. So I did a few rows of that, and then I finished it off with some twining. I did 2 rows, looped back, and went for that second row, or did a single row across, looped back, twined backwards, and then started with a new section or a new piece of round reed and did a second 2 rows to finish this off, and then ended kind of tapering my ends so that I ended up kind of following the angle of my mountain, so it's tapered from the sides in towards the middle, and I left this kind of as a fringe at the bottom. So I have all of my tails finished off. The twining finishes off your piece so that pieces of your weavers don't just fall out. The twining is almost like a lock stitch, so it holds those together. And then at the very end, I made sure that my loops were tight on the stick piece, and then I tied a piece of twine on the stick at the top to use as a hanging device. So now I can hang this on the wall. That's just a quick overview of how to create a wall tapestry with your scrap reed. Again, this can look a million different ways, and everyone's going to end up creating something slightly different based on a vision that you might have in your head. So playing around with just adding texture and creating gentle stripes is a great way to do this. Adding in the curves like I did is not necessary. It's just something fun that I wanted to try. So you can do this however you want with whatever type of reed that you have available to you. As always, check the description below for the printable that goes along with this project. It goes over some basics and reminders on how to twine and things like that. So that'll help you get started in your project if you're interested in making your own tapestries. And if you're new to basket weaving, you may want to save this video because you will definitely end up with scraps and a collection of reed that you're not sure what to do with that are still useful and be turned into something beautiful and creative. Even if it's just a creative outlet and you don't even like what you produce, it's still a way to play around with reed, with material, and just experiment with how the material works in a flat form versus a basket form. Thanks for joining me in this Scrappy Basket series that we're doing here on the channel, sharing beginner-friendly projects that use up your scrap stash. Until the next one, happy making, and I'll see you later. Bye.